Our next guest has represented the largest insurance companies in North America.
I don't want the public to think of personal injury lawyers as ambulance chasers. I want the public to see them as community watchdogs.
Now he puts all that insider knowledge and experience on your side.
My firm is dedicated to fighting the crimes of drunk driving, texting while driving, and impaired driving.
Please welcome personal injury attorney, Gordon Levinson.
Gordon, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good to be here.
All right. So, huge topic today. This happens all the time. I don't know how many accidents take place every day in San Diego County, but I'm assuming it's plenty.
It's one every 52 seconds, to be exact.
Really?
Yes, lots of car accidents on the roadway.
Wow. So you decided to write this book. I've been in a crash. Now what?
This is for informational purposes for people that have been in an accident and they don't know what to do. And it's a free downloadable ebook. You go to my website, levinsonlawgroup.com, and you can download the free ebook. And it's what to do in the aftermath of a car collision. And there's a lot of good common sense advice for people, and it's free and it's available at the website.
That's awesome. So let's kind of talk about that, because we actually got rear-ended going to lunch one day. Our crew, we were in my car and we got hit by somebody.
Right.
So I'm curious now to see if I did everything right, based on what should you do in a situation
well,
like
there
that.
are some steps you need to take, in a collision. First and foremost, get to a place of safety. Your first priority should be to avoid getting hit by another car, kind of a gawker who's looking at roadkill on the side of the road and crashes into your crash scene. So number one, make sure you're in a place of safety.
Okay.
Second, you got to call first responders. Call the police, call for an ambulance. If possible and if safe to do so, try to exchange information with the other driver. But often when the police show up, they don't want you to get out of the car, or they don't want to have the parties engage in each other. So the police will take that information as well. Nowadays, a lot of people have smartphones, and so only if it's safe to do so, take a few pictures. Photograph the roadway where there's skid marks, no skid marks. Get a picture of that. Shoot the damage to your car, the damage to the other guy's car. If safe to do so only, try to get a photograph of the other guy's driver's license and insurance card, because that way you don't have to sit and write that stuff down. You'll be glad you got that done at the scene there. Second of all, take the ambulance ride. They always offer the ambulance ride, and it's at that point that most people start thinking about money. Oh, is my medical insurance going to cover this? I don't know. You should be thinking of health and safety and nothing else. You could have broken bones. You could have internal bleeding. You don't know. The EMTs aboard that ambulance have medical training and medical equipment, so don't be a cheapskate. Get in the ambulance, go to the ER. Those are the steps you need to take immediately after a car crash.
Okay. And you can get all of this in the book, right? So all of these steps and everything that you need to know is in the book.
Exactly. The book has do's and don'ts. Some of the most important pieces of information we've already gone over, like get prompt medical attention. But it's important to be an ideal patient in the days and weeks that follow your emergency treatment. You got to follow doctor's orders. If your doctors want to send you to a specialist, go to the specialist. If they want you to do an MRI, get the MRI. It's good for your body and it's good for your case. If you're going to be making a damage claim later, you gotta have the record look right, and you got to follow doctor's orders. Anyone who's hurt needs to follow doctor's orders for those two reasons. It's only common sense. Some other pieces of advice in the book, for instance, never give a recorded statement to the insurance adjuster. They're always trying to get you on the phone to trip you up and make you say something that'll bite you in the butt later on. Don't give the recorded statement. I can't tell you how many times my clients regret getting on the phone and giving the recorded statement. But some other things that you wouldn't even think about, and that is your social media. Don't be posting about the car accident. Nowadays, everybody's got an Instagram and a Facebook, and they go on there and they shoot off their mouth, and guess what? The insurance companies are looking, and they're taking screenshots. And so what things not to post about? Don't post about athletic accomplishments in the aftermath of a car accident. Imagine this, you're saying that you got a injury to your neck and back, but here you are doing pull-ups at your gym and bragging about it on Facebook. Don't talk about your athletic accomplishments. Put that off until you're healed. Do that a year later. Don't post high-risk activities, like here I am bungee jumping or riding a skateboard. You know, the insurance adjuster is going to look at that and say, my goodness, I thought you're supposed to be injured. So it just takes all the credibility right out of your whole position if you're putting yourself out there on social media. If you're about to make an insurance claim involving an injury, that's a time to take a total hiatus from your social media. Or post about other people, post about your kids and your loved ones. Don't be me, me, me. This is the ideal time to kind of give that a rest.
By the way, we should mention all of the stuff we're talking about today in the book, which is free and available at the website on the screen. Go there, you can download it, 100% free for you. All the information we're talking about today right there in the book. Gordon, one of the things that's a big deal right now out there, distracted driving, catchphrase. What's up with that and how can you help?
Well, first of all, there are many forms of distracted driving. It's not just talking on your phone or texting. People are sending emails as they drive. People are browsing the internet. They're buying books at Amazon while they're driving. Also, if you have passengers in the car and they're having a conversation, that can distract the driver. Eating while driving, drinking while driving, reading while driving, operating your GPS, futzing with the music, and even people have pets and apply makeup in the car. These are all things that technically constitute distracted driving because they impair the driver's ability to drive safe. Texting's the worst. The average text takes 5 seconds to complete. If you're driving a car at 55 miles an hour, in 5 seconds you will have traveled 100 yards. That's the length of a football field. I can't imagine anyone thinks it's a good idea to drive 100 yards blindfolded at 55 miles an hour. You could do a whole lot of damage in that time, in that space. So texting, it's an epidemic in America right now. Survey results taken by the NHTSA, the National Transportation Highway Safety Administration, have concluded that 50% of drivers admit that they'll answer calls while driving. 25% of people admit that they will place a call. And so at any given moment, there's 212 million drivers on the road in the United States. That means that 106 million, or half of those people, are answering a phone call while driving. It's just shocking, and it's actually become, texting and driving has become the #1 cause of death in car accidents in the 15 to 19 year range.
Wow.
So teenagers now are getting killed at a higher rate due to texting and driving than drinking and driving.
That is unbelievable. And I imagine that all of these distracted driving circumstances play into the liability that comes, or the fault potentially in an accident.
Absolutely. If I represent somebody who's been injured in a car accident and I find out that the defendant in the case has been texting and driving, look out. I'm going to do everything in my power to try to get that into evidence in front of the jury. A lot of times the judge might put a clamp on that and say it's just irrelevant because it's, after all, liability is established. But if I can get that into the trial, it's just going to enrage the jury, because people that text and drive are doing harm to our community and endangering men, women, and children every day.
No question about it. And by the way, you can get all this great information in the book, I've Been in a Crash, Now What?, which is available for free. Just go to the link on the screen right now. You can download it 100% free, everything we've been talking about today with Gordon Levinson. So we're going to have one more question for you that
Sure.
I think a lot of people may not quite understand how to approach, but the whole idea of auto coverage, you know, the state required minimums are very, very low.
Right.
What kind of advice would you give people having seen what can happen based on that?
Oh, Derek, I'm so glad you asked me that question, because if I could preach this, I could scream this from the mountaintops. Get uninsured motorist coverage as high as you can afford. What is uninsured motorist coverage? Uninsured motorist coverage covers you when the other guy doesn't have insurance. So 1 out of 4 drivers on the road doesn't have insurance. If one of those bozos takes you out, fractures your pelvis, fractures your femur, takes you out of the workforce for a year as you learn to rewalk and rehab and physical therapy, well, if he has no insurance, you got no recourse except for your own uninsured motorist coverage. Therefore, you're going to need to replace your lost earnings. You're going to need to pay for those medical expenses. Get uninsured motorists, get as high as you can afford, 100, 300, or get 250, 500. Also, I recommend buying a personal umbrella. That way, if you God forbid, cause somebody to have a catastrophic injury, they're going to come for your house. They're going to come for your belongings. So your liability auto insurance only goes so high, then the umbrella kicks in. You can get very high limits on umbrellas, like $1 million a claim, $2 million a claim. So that would be my best advice. Make sure you got uninsured motorists as high as you can afford, and go get yourself a personal umbrella.
Fantastic stuff, Gordon. Thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this great knowledge. Of course, you can get the book we've been talking about today for free. I've been in a crash. Now what? Just by going to the link on the screen. It's 100% free. Go there, download it, and be smarter than everyone else.
Gordon is the owner and lead trial attorney at the Levinson Law Group, a high-end boutique personal injury law firm located in Carlsbad. For years, Gordon represented the largest insurance companies in North America. Now he uses all that insider knowledge and experience and puts it on your side. Do a Google search on the Levinson Law Group and find out for yourself why so many of their clients, as well as doctors, other lawyers, and even judges and court staff, refer injury cases to the Levinson Law Group. Go to www.levinsonlawgroup.com or call them at 760-827-1700 for your free consultation today.